What's going on, guys? My name is Mason Marquis. I'm joined by
Jackson Gamber.
This is the Sports Key Podcast. This is episode 2. Welcome to the dugout. So, we tried to upload a video last week. Unfortunately, we had some technical difficulties. We try to have an episode every week, so expect more frequent uploads starting now. Jack, we're going to jump right into Premier League. Yep. You can start us off.
All right, so more recent game. Obviously, Arsenal. They ended up losing today 3-0 to Brighton at home. That is just simply a game that we cannot be losing, which this pretty much ends all title just chances.
Yeah, no hopes at this point, feels like.
Yeah, and Arsenal just really needed that win and just to keep going. So now it's all in Man City's hands. If they can beat Chelsea next week, then the title is theirs. Yeah, what did you think of that game?
Yeah, it was kind of an embarrassing showing from Arsenal. You had Martinelli go down early. Trossard came on. Mm-hmm. He had the one shot hit off the crossbar, and that truly was their best shot at the game. After that, Brighton takes a corner. We try to clear it away. It wasn't the best clearance. Goes back in the box, and Ramsdale just can't really do anything about it.
Yeah, he was wide open in the middle. Key Ward got his ankle stepped on.
Kind of just felt like the game was lost at that moment. We stopped trying. And, yeah, it kind of felt like the game was just out of hand at that point.
Yeah. So, next up, we had Brentford, West Ham. Brentford got the win 2-0. Nice, comfortable, easy win for them. What did you think of that?
Yeah, Brentford played well. They were on the road, correct?
No.
They were at home?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they played good. Can't really can't say much. Mm-hmm. There was a game that they should have won.
Yeah. And
that they did win. So they played well.
Next game was Everton-Man City. It looked like in the first 30 minutes, Everton were really bossing things around. Constant attacks in Man City's half. It really looked good for Man City or Everton, and then all of a sudden, Gundogan scores what could be one of the best goals this season.
Yeah, just perfect
touch, flick around the corner, right into the bottom right-hand corner, and it was just beautiful. Nothing else really to say about that one. Then I walked out into the kitchen to get food. I came back and it was 2-0. Haaland scored a header, and then Gundogan makes it 3-0 with a free kick, and it was just a really good performance by him. Definitely man of the match performance there. What did you see in that game?
Everton came out, and it felt like they were playing for something more than just a game. Mm-hmm. I honestly thought that they had a chance to, even though they were at home, felt like they had a chance to maybe take a point, mm-hmm. which not many teams can do against Man City. And then once Man City just put one in the net, the goals started rolling in. Mm-hmm. His first goal, I'd say the touch was more impressive than the shot itself. Just perfect touch there to put it in the back of the net. And after that, Haaland, you can't expect him to not score.
Yeah, exactly.
And then at that point, the game was just over. Everything came out strong, but then they fell apart once they allowed a goal.
Next was Crystal Palace versus Bournemouth. Eze with 2 goals, 1 tap in, right place, right time, and then just a beautiful goal all around. Just spinning past defenders and then hitting a ball right into the top right-hand corner. It was beautiful. And definitely Eze is my player of the week for this week. He was just doing his thing, constantly making good passes, getting in right places, and he was just really playing all around well. I think Roy Hodgson has done something different to this Crystal Palace side, and Crystal Palace are definitely a team I think that will do good things next season.
Yeah, I agree. I wasn't able to watch the match, but I did see the highlights, and seemed like Eze always just was in the right spot. He was playing as a team player. He did get those 2 goals, but it seemed like he was trying to do everything he could for the team,
Yeah.
and not just for himself, which is extremely impressive. And yeah, I think the manager there really is putting them in a position to just climb the table in the coming seasons.
Next match was Man United versus Wolves. Man United got a 2-0 win. It was a nice, easy, comfortable win. Garnacho, coming back from having a kid, came on late and scored late to seal the deal for Man United to get them the 2-0 win. How do you see Garnacho's just career as a whole going forward with Man United?
The sky's the limit. You know, after starting a family, having a kid, he might want to, stay with one club and, not move his family around too much. So, and him coming back from just having a kid and putting together the performance he did. I know he came on late, but getting that goal, and he made a couple of nice tackles, made a few passes that were nice. He seems like he's happy where he's at. So, I don't see him becoming one of the best players in the world, but
Yeah.
I see him, making a real career there with Man United as he tries to bring up his family.
So, next game was a big one. It was Aston Villa Tottenham, two close in the table teams. Aston Villa ended up getting the win 2-1 there. What do you see in the future for Tottenham, and how can they regroup as a whole?
Tottenham is a very talented club. They're just in a little bit of a rut right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, next season they're going to come back, more as a complete team, just more together. Because, they have enough talent to be competing like they were last year. So I see them, putting together something in the offseason, going out, getting a few guys, and building a real culture there that can't be really matched anywhere else. And I see them, floating around 7-3 in the table, competing to go to the Champions League or Europa.
I obviously don't like Tottenham, but it kind of sucks. Not really, actually. I love watching them fail, but just, they have literally 0 trophies. They're just not really that successful of a team, so I feel like they definitely need to switch some things around in the off season and just really just rebuild, maybe make a few signings, and just see how it goes from there. But, next match is Chelsea, Nottingham Forest. It was a 2-2 draw, Chelsea at home. Not really surprised there. Chelsea got their win last week against Bournemouth, 3-1, but I really couldn't see Chelsea doing all that well. They started well with the 2 goals by Sterling, but it was just not really. It's just not really something they could do right now. They're not in a good place at all under Todd Bowley. He spent all that much money. Todd Bowley has really just come in and shown why he shouldn't own a football club, and just everything just seems to be going downhill with them.
Yeah, I think Chelsea played well, or at least as well as they could, for the way the whole season has gone for them. I think this offseason they can find a way to regroup because they have so much talent. They went out and got a good manager.
Yeah.
So I think that I feel like, this season just no bueno for them. But in the coming years, I think that they're going to have a great team. I think they're going to be another team that's going to consistently be competing to maybe win the league. And if not win the league, at least be competing for Champions League or Europa every year because they have all the talent in the world there.
So next, like you said, they just got a new manager, Pochettino. He did pretty well under Tottenham, took them to the Champions League final. I think he could definitely be a good fit for Chelsea. He could definitely do some good things over there, and hopefully can switch some things around and get them out of their rut that they're currently in.
Yeah.
Next match is Fulham versus Southampton. Fulham were able to win that and officially relegate Southampton. How do you see Southampton doing in the championship, and do you think they'll possibly be able to come back next or the following season?
Yeah. It's always tough. You see, teams either get relegated and it takes them 10, 15 years to get promoted, or they get promoted the next season. I think they're a good enough club to get promoted again.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that we will see them in the Premier League very soon, if not next year. Only a couple years. They're a good club, and they're always competing to be in the Premier League.
Yeah, James Ward-Prowse, he's really just a great captain for Southampton, and he just really just shows why he deserves the armband. And hopefully him being into the championship will show just even more why he deserves the armband and can hopefully lead the team to another promotion. Next match and final match, it was Leeds-Newcastle. Leeds at home. It was a 2-2 draw. Nothing really impressive from either side. I was kind of expecting Newcastle to get the win, but it was unfortunate for them. It was a somewhat good showing by Leeds, and I can definitely see Newcastle doing good things for the rest of the 2 games that we have left.
Yeah. I don't really have much to comment on that. Leeds played well.
Mm-hmm.
Especially for a club that, is fighting for relegation. Getting that draw against a top 3 club is huge.
Yep.
Any point at this point in the season matters for them. So I think it was a great showing for them, even though they weren't able to get the win at home. I think, going against a top 3 club and coming away with a point at all is very impressive,
Mm-hmm.
and something that they can build on for the next year.
So obviously Erling Haaland, 36 goals right now. Do you see? Obviously, Man City have 3 games left. Do you see Erling Haaland hitting 40?
I think it's gonna be close.
Mm-hmm.
They get the pleasure of playing Brentford soon.
Yeah.
Which I'm saying pleasure. That's not a shot at Brentford, but their defense has been very lackadaisical at some points in the season. And Haaland, he can pick out any weakness in a defense and take advantage of it. So I could see him scoring a couple goals in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Then he just needs one each of the other 2 games. So it's going to be very close. I don't think he'll surpass 40, but I can see him hitting 40 on the dot.
So do you see Man City winning the league this weekend against Chelsea, or do you think maybe Chelsea gives them problems? What do you think from that?
I think Chelsea's a club that can give anyone problems, but Man City is just so good.
Mm-hmm.
And I think them knowing that they can win it this upcoming week, is going to just push them so much, and I think they're going to get over the top right now this next game, and I think they're going to secure the win for themselves.
Gotcha. So that's all I really have for Premier League. You want to touch up on the KSI?
Yeah, we'll jump into that.
Joe Fournier fight?
Not too much to talk about for boxing, so we'll just touch up on that fight really quick.
Yeah.
Controversial ending.
Yeah.
KSI was talking a lot of smack, saying he was going to knock Joe out, and professional boxer, 9-0, going into the fight. What do you think of the ending? What do you think of the result in general? What are your opinions on it?
So, in the fight, you see an overhand right that sort of wobbles Joe Fournier, and while they're fighting, KSI gets close to try and end it after he wobbles him. He throws and he misses Joe Fournier, and Joe Fournier sort of leans in and gets hit with the forearm and sort of elbow of KSI. Some people would say it would be a DQ or a no contest, but obviously I do think it wasn't exactly legal, but I don't think he did it intentionally.
Well, I'd say he was throwing the punch, trying to make contact, and if your opponent's wobbly already and leans into it, that's on them.
Mm-hmm.
Leaning into a punch isn't always the best idea. So I'd say that KSI did win the fight. I'd say fair. He wasn't out there throwing dirty punches, trying to, give himself an advantage in any way. So I'd give KSI the fight, and I'd say he truly earned the win.
Yeah, a lot of people really not happy with that. KSI says didn't really see anything wrong with it. A lot of people did. Joe Fournier was obviously really upset about it. It was the whole thing was just really controversial. Do you see... So obviously Tommy Fury and KSI were going back and forth in the ring after that fight. Talking a lot of shit to each other. Who do you think wins that fight? So obviously Tommy Fury just beat Jake Paul.
Yeah, I think Tommy Fury's the better fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Plain as day. That's all I really have to say. Is I think he's the better fighter, so I'd give it to Tommy Fury.
I would definitely agree with that. I don't think KSI is on Tommy's level. If Tommy can go through Jake, I definitely think Tommy would definitely go through KSI.
Yep. Anything else you want to touch up on for boxing, UFC that we haven't hit on?
Nope, all good.
All right. So jumping into Major League Baseball, we're going to jump into the National League East, the Philadelphia Phillies division. So right now we have the Braves on top, followed by the Phillies, who climbed up to second, the Mets, the Marlins, and then at the bottom of the league is sitting the Nationals. Are you surprised the Phillies were able to jump back up to the 2 spot? They got Bryce Harper back, but a couple of the players have been playing very poorly recently.
I'm not really shocked that Phillies came back with the return of Bryce Harper. They're a great team with him, they're a great team without him, and even better team with him. I think Bryce Harper is definitely a key piece of that Phillies team, and I just think him coming there made everyone else improve, and he just is a great player all around.
A great leader and the true MVP of the team, potentially the MVP of the league. Jumping into the National League Central, the Pirates have cooled off quite a bit since last episode.
Yep.
So that division is now run by the Brewers, followed by the Pirates, the Cubs, the Reds, and the Cardinals. Now, that division, no one's out of it. It's still early in the season. They can put together some wins, but it'd be very difficult for the Reds and the Cardinals to picture making the playoffs. The Cubs, on the other hand, have a couple of players that have been there before, have been in these spots before, and have climbed up to the top of their division.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see the Cubs making some noise later in the year, or do you think that they're do you think the other teams in the division are too strong for them?
I think the Cubs could definitely come back and win a couple games. They're definitely a good team. But I really think the Brewers are just going to really just run away with it.
Yeah, Christian Yelich, he's a great player and has been for quite a few years with them. So, yeah I think that the Brewers are going to win it, but the Cubs are going to be an interesting team, I believe. Now we're going to jump over to the American League for a minute. We have the AL East. Every team in that division still over 500. Extremely impressive. Only not every team in that division will be able to make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to see, most likely we're going to see 3, maybe 4 teams from that division make the playoffs. Do they have 2? Is it 2 or 3 wildcard spots now?
I'm not sure.
Well, you're going to see a lot of teams come out of that division.
Yeah.
At least 3 teams come out of that division, most likely. So that's extremely exciting if you're a fan of one of those teams, but it's also nerve-wracking knowing that the other teams in your division are right behind you and are doing everything you can.
Yeah.
And if you're behind in the division, are you hopeful or are you scared because of how good the other teams are playing? That even how good you're playing, you can't catch up to them, it feels like.
I think that you should be hopeful. Never look backwards at all and just keep pushing forward because you're still doing good. It's just a matter of everyone else also doing good.
It's the hope that kills you. So I think it's gonna be interesting. That division is gonna be a great division all year. And then we have the American League Central. Twins on top, Guardians, Tigers, White Sox, and the Royals. No real surprises. I think everyone knew the Twins were the best team in that division, followed by the Guardians.
Yep.
So I don't think there's really any surprises there. Nothing too much to talk about. Nothing to talk about them. Then we're gonna move over to the National League, the National League West. We're gonna hit the American League West.
Okay.
Stay out west. We have the Rangers, the Astros, Mariners, Angels, and Athletics. Are you surprised that the Rangers are playing so well, or are you did you kind of expect this with a couple of their signings this offseason?
I didn't really expect this, to be honest. I thought it would be more the Astros controlling everything. Obviously, coming off of the
World Series victory.
Yeah.
Now they are doing this. They're still a game over 500 without one of their best players, Jose Altuve. Do you think that once he gets back from injury, they're going to climb back up and take the top spot in their division? Or do you think the Rangers can keep putting on these performances and keep winning?
I feel like Rangers definitely can stick with it and continue their hot streak, but I can definitely see also at the same time the Astros coming back. But ultimately it's just a matter of who wants it more, but I personally think that the Astros could overtake them.
Yeah, the Astros, they're a great team offensively and defensively, so it's going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Once Jose Altuve comes back, especially, he's going to propel their team, and it's going to come right down to the wire. Now, jumping into the division that some people call the best division in baseball, you have the Dodgers, the Diamondbacks, the Padres, the Giants, and the Rockies. Diamondbacks are still my surprise team. I didn't expect them to be number 2 in the division. I didn't expect them to play this well. When you think about the division, you think about the Dodgers, the Padres, and the Giants.
Yeah.
But, it's really just the Diamondbacks have been playing great. They're still second place in the division to the Dodgers. Now, the Dodgers, everyone expects them to win the division. They are the best team in the division. Some would say the best team in baseball every year. But they have a lot of postseason struggles. Do you think they can finally get past those postseason struggles, or do you think they're going to continue to falter late in the year?
I can definitely see them faltering more late in the year. They're not really that good of a team, in my opinion, and I definitely think that they'll probably just stay down.
Now, I'd say that I wouldn't say that they're not that good of a team. I think they're probably one of, if not the most talented teams in the league. But I feel like they're a team that the superstars go to play for, really just because of the team itself. It's like when you go play for the Lakers in basketball, you're not playing for the Lakers because you love the Lakers and you want to help them win. You're playing for them because it's the Lakers, and that's where you can really cement your legacy. So I feel like the players there aren't as interested as winning as they are just having their name on that jersey.
Gotcha.
So I think that they could win the World Series easily if the players really put in the effort, but I don't think they care enough there. That being said, from what you've seen, who do you think is your World Series favorite right now? And is there any team that you think is a dark horse that could win it all?
I want to say the Rangers. I feel like they definitely could be a dark horse in there. I can definitely also see the Astros going back. But obviously as a Phillies fan, I can also see them going. They're not doing too bad. They had that, off streak, but then they have more of a hot streak right now. So I can see the Phillies playing well and maybe making it, but ultimately it just depends how the rest of the season turns out.
Yeah. All right. I think that's all we want to touch on for baseball.
Yep.
We're going to jump into something that I'm not really too excited to get into.
Yeah.
But it is something we need to talk about. That's the National Basketball Association. Today was Game 7 of the Sixers-Celtics series.
Yeah.
If you guys watched the first half of this episode, you saw me glancing to my right a lot. My left for you guys. And we had the game on in the corner, and it was a very hard game for me to watch. So if I looked like I was very sad, I was.
Depressed.
So the Celtics won the series. They're going to be playing against the Lakers. They're going to be playing against the Heat.
Yeah.
What is your prediction for that series? How many games, and who do you think comes out on top?
I feel like I can definitely unfortunately see the Celtics coming up on top in that one. The Celtics are just a really good team, and even when they're down by a lot, they don't, fumble, or they don't over-pressure themselves. They just, stay confident, and they continue forward, and obviously Jason Tatum shows up when they need him the most, so I can definitely see Celtics advancing.
Yeah, and then out west, the Lakers are playing the Nuggets.
Mm-hmm.
The Nuggets are the favorites out west. Who do you think will win that series? Do you think the Lakers have a better chance than people are giving them, or do you think it's the Nuggets series to lose?
I think this is a really good matchup. I think the Nuggets and the Lakers are really even when you talk about them both.
Right.
I think it'll be a good matchup between Jokic and LeBron, and I can definitely see it being a close one, but I think it's going to go definitely to Game 7, and I feel like it could go either way, but I'm leaning more towards the Nuggets.
All right, so right now you have the Nuggets matching up against the Celtics in the championship. Who do you think comes out on top? Who's your MVP of the finals? And is there a matchup that you would rather see other than your prediction?
I'd rather see the 76ers there.
Well, I'm saying with the 4 teams that remain.
But I really think the Nuggets could definitely make a charge to the chip and take it all. But again, I feel like I'm really leaning towards Jason Tatum and the Celtics, because Jason Tatum, as much as you don't like him, you gotta love him.
Around, yeah.
And he's just a great all around player, and I don't want to say it, but I really feel like the Celtics have it.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I said that coming out of the Sixers-Celtics series, I said that whoever comes out on that series is going to the finals. And I think that whoever came out of that series would win the finals, which happens to be the Celtics. So I think the Celtics are going to win that series. I'm going to guess it's going to be 6 games to give me the Celtics over top of the Nuggets.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the Nuggets are just going to be a little bit too much for the Lakers to handle out there.
Gotcha. Do you see the Heat even challenging the Celtics?
Yeah, I definitely think that the Heat are going to force...
what are your predictions for that?
I think they're going to force at least 6 games, but the Celtics are just such a good team. They're hungry. They went to the finals last year and they lost. So they want to get back there. They want to finish the job. Mm-hmm. That's been their whole thing throughout the playoffs is the job's not finished. We have to get it done this time.
Yeah.
So I think that Jimmy Butler and the Heat are going to give them some problems, just like the Sixers gave them some problems. But I think that the better team will come out on top, and I think the better team in this case is the Celtics.
Gotcha.
Now I want to dive into Game 7 of the Sixers-Celtics series. It was by far the worst game of the series on either end. The Sixers did get blown out a game. The Sixers won by 15 a game. There was a couple games that were 3 or 4 point games. This game, I turned it off after the third quarter so that we could focus more on the podcast. But it was a 30-point game at one point. Where do you think the Sixers should go from here? Do you think they should get rid of the coach, trade any of their key pieces? What do you think they should do?
I think definitely a good rebuild. Maybe not a huge rebuild, but just definitely trade some pieces and bring some new pieces in, try some new things out. I think they should really be building, if they were to do a massive rebuild, I think it would be best to build around Maxey. You know, he's a great player, great up-and-coming, just player in general, and, like, he's phenomenal if you, like, on and off, and definitely has some great potential there.
Now, there's been a lot of rumors that James Harden, not that he wanted out of Philadelphia, but that he wants to return to Houston after this season's over. Do you see him going to Houston, a team that's struggling to even get in the win column most games? Or do you see him going to a different contender, or do you see him maybe running it back with Philly one more time?
He's, in my opinion, he's really inconsistent for Philly. I think there's some days that he's there, some days that he's not, and he's more not. I would like to see him. I feel like it would be nice to try it one more time. You know, he definitely, it's nice having him, but I feel like it's just unrealistic at this point, and I can definitely see him going back to Houston or anywhere else.
All right. Now, if the Sixers were to do a major rebuild, could you see them potentially trying to trade the MVP Joel Embiid?
I feel like, in my opinion, you know, we were talking about this off camera, and you said that it should happen, but I feel like it would definitely be a mistake. I think they would do it and instantly regret it, and it would just backfire. I think keeping Joel Embiid is just a key part of the 76ers and just how they play. I think if they are to rebuild, I think they should rebuild. If they were to small rebuild, I think they should rebuild more around Maxey and Joel Embiid. And I feel like if they just got multiple pieces around them and just really base their play off of those two, then I feel like they could definitely run it back next season.
Yeah, the only problem is we just have a lot of big contracts. We gave Tobias Harris a lot of money, so he's not a player that you're going to be able to go out and trade unless you throw in a guy like George Niang who can shoot the ball.
Yeah.
If you throw in a D'Anthony Melton or a Shake Milton, players that can do other things and who have smaller contracts, because you're just paying Tobias Harris so much money and you don't always know what you're going to get from him.
Gotcha.
So it's going to be interesting to see what the Sixers do this offseason. I think the first thing they have to do, and they should do it tonight, is fire Doc Rivers. It was like Brett Brown, round 2. It felt like he has the most Game 7 losses in NBA history, and he added another one to his resume today. So, doesn't look too good. It's going to be interesting to see what the Sixers do, but yeah, I can't even say I'm excited for next season because I've seen this story, it feels like 100 times, and I'm only 19.
Moving on from the depressing feel,
I don't know if I can.
Let's talk about what just happened with Mr. I'm Fine in the West. Ja Morant just gets caught again for the second time with a gun. You know, just acting so immature and just like really ruining just his reputation and career at this point.
Yeah, I didn't see the video.
Me neither.
I heard that there was another video of him flashing a gun on camera.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when this video was from. You know, it potentially could have been from before, and the video just came out now. If so, then I'm hoping that's the case. And you know, they just give him a few more, like reprimand him a little bit more for it. But I'm hoping that he didn't make the same mistake again as he did just a few months ago. But if he did, he just needs some serious help at this point. Because it's truly sad to see one of the greatest young players make mistakes the way he is doing so far.
And I really don't feel like it's a matter of him wanting respect. I think it's just stupid and idiotic mistakes of just someone whose fame
Got to their head.
Yeah, exactly. And like he's gotta understand like you can't do that. Like
Right.
That's not how that works. You're not a rapper. You're not like a celebrity. You
Even
can't
all these
do this.
rappers.
You have a reputation you have to hold on to. You're a professional basketball player, and you can't be doing stuff like this and not expect for anything to happen or for anything to backfire on you. And I feel like he should definitely face full reprehension for it.
Yeah, I mean, even all these rappers that are, messing with guns, there's no need.
Exactly.
It's just stupid. And I hope he gets reprimanded properly, and I hope he wakes up and realizes that he's being an absolute idiot. Because it truly is sad to see a great player like him make these mistakes that are affecting him on the court now. But, we see it way too often, to the point where it's really not even surprising anymore. So, another thing that's happening in the league currently, another thing that's happening in the league with Dylan Brooks. Again, we're on the subject of the Grizzlies. They said that they don't want him back.
Yeah, I don't blame them.
Do you think there's going to be a team that's willing to go out and pay him, or do you think he's pretty much going to be blacklisted from the NBA and going to have a little trouble looking for a team?
I think it's the second one. I think he's definitely going to get blacklisted. Like, he's just not someone who I feel any organization looks at and says, yes, we want him. Like, he's just a disrespectful player all around. He's the villain of the NBA, and he's just not really... He doesn't really bring anything to the table, in my opinion.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
He can maybe get points here and there, but I just don't see any real just good in the future for him.
Yeah, I agree. So, not too much else to talk about for basketball.
Mm-hmm.
The championship rounds are about to begin. So I'm excited to start updating them on the current rounds that are going to be going. I say we jump in and do a couple of drafts with the few minutes that we have left.
Sure.
Try to brighten the mood.
Let's do... how about a supervillain draft?
Supervillain draft? All right, let's do it. Rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah,
goes first?
go ahead.
All right, we're going to jump right into things. I think this is the consensus number one pick. Give me Thanos. Only one to actually beat the villains. Beat the superheroes. They had to go back in time to even have a chance to beat him, so give me Thanos in the one.
Definitely took my number one. This is definitely a really hard one. But... At number one... Give me Ultron from Age of Ultron.
Good pick. That was going to be my two if you didn't take him. But I'm going to be happy with my second pick. Got to get a funny guy. Give me the Joker.
Nice.
Not always the most talented villain, but a classic. Absolute classic there.
Okay, at number two, I want to go for, I want to go back and forth between DC and Marvel and everything else. At number two, give me Bane.
I like the pick. I feel like there's maybe a few more talented options out there, but he's an evil guy to get on your roster. So
yeah.
Good pick there. With my three, I'm gonna switch routes a little bit. I'm gonna go to Scar from The Lion King.
That's definitely a good one. At my three, I'm gonna stick on. I'm gonna go back to Marvel, and I want Ego from Guardians of the Galaxy, Star-Lord's dad.
Yeah, good pick there.
He was literally a whole planet.
Yeah, he was. Kind of scary, kind of weird.
Yeah.
But he did it, so that's cool. In my 4, I just had it, and then I lost it for a second there. I'm trying to think of just someone that's pure evil. In my 4, I'm gonna go with the Scarlet Witch.
Nice. Okay. Not really a good pick.
I think she's probably one of the most talented villains in terms of her powers. She uses pure emotion behind what she's doing, which is just driving her to be even more and more evil.
Okay. At number 4, you went Disney. I'm going Disney. Give me Lotso the bear. Just because he smells like strawberries doesn't mean he's all that nice. Give me Lotso the bear, the evil bear from Toy Story.
Yeah, I want to say that's a bad pick.
No.
If you're going to go to the Toy Story franchise, you could have gone to a kid like Sid. I think he's more evil. But, yeah, I mean, you tried your best.
No.
In my 5, give me Lex Luthor.
Ooh, okay.
He's always given the Man of Steel some problems, so I think that he's a very solid pickup in my 5.
I think this is a really underrated one. He is considered a super villain. At number 5, give me Gru. From the Despicable Me, give me Gru.
Okay. See, but he's a supervillain, but he's a good guy.
Yeah, but he grew up a super villain.
Come on, he's a good guy.
He's a super villain.
All right, well, let us know who you guys think won the supervillain draft.
Yep.
And I think we should do one more, try to sweeten the mood a little bit. We're going to go best desserts.
Ooh, okay.
Now, I got the first pick last time. I'll let you take this one. Best desserts.
Give me the consensus ice cream.
I don't know if I'd say that's consensus number 1.
Dessert ice cream. If you think dessert, you think ice cream.
When I think of dessert, my go-to is usually just fresh baked homemade chocolate chip cookies.
What?
Dude, they're a classic.
That's not what?
They're a classic
You're helping
dessert.
me here. All right, number 2, give me cake.
Just like vanilla cake, chocolate cake.
All cake.
All cake. All right. I'm gonna go to cheesecake.
Okay.
In my 2.
His brother.
Cousin.
My bad.
Yeah, they're not considered brothers.
Okay.
You don't even know your scouting report.
At number 3, give me a nice warm brownie.
See, I wanted that. I wanted to pair the chocolate chip cookies and the brownies, but I couldn't let you have I couldn't let cheesecake slip away. But you know what I will take? Nice warm apple pie.
Ooh,
or you know
that's a
what?
good
Just
one.
pie in
Yeah,
general.
you can take
pie
pie.
in general.
Okay, at number 3.
Number 4.
Number 4, sorry. At number 4, give me the man with a plan. The best pick.
You're still thinking of it.
I had it, but now I'm trying to come back to it because I forgot it. Okay, I got it. At number 4, give me pudding.
Pudding. Yeah, good pick. I feel like it's a very one-dimensional
It's
pick.
a good pick. It's definitely
One-dimensional
a good
pick, but not bad. In my 4, there's a few different options I have out here. I'm going to save my guy until the 5. I don't think you're going to pick him in your 5. So give me a guy that I guess can kind of just play against pudding a little bit. I'll take Jell-O.
Not really a dessert.
Definitely is a dessert. People have Jell-O for dessert all the time.
Yeah, I don't know what people you hanging around with.
We go to the Christmas party for my family every year, and they pull desserts out. You know, there's this like Jell-O. It's this Jell-O like cake thing. It's I don't know exactly what it is, but
I don't know.
It's
Okay.
good.
Number 5, give me one that flew under the radar. Give me a milkshake.
Good pick. That was going to be my 5. I didn't think you were thinking of him because you took him in the drink draft.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure if that was only considered a drink or if it was a dessert. But I'll allow it.
Definitely a dessert. Both.
Yeah, I suppose. And in my 5, to round out the draft, I'm going to go with... Wow, this just got tough. Mm-hmm. This got really tough out of nowhere.
Basically, what he's saying is I won.
Basically, what I'm saying is you took the person I wanted, and now I got to change my plan of attack. You took ice cream and milkshake, so the cold is off the table. But I got the pie, I got the cheesecake. What about a nice scone?
Okay.
Nice scone. It's not a very popular, but people that like scones, they are addicted to them for some reason.
Gotcha.
So that's going to round out our dessert draft.
Let us know that I won in the comments.
Yeah, pretty much. And is there anything else we want to hit on this episode, or?
Not really.
All right, so it's time to wrap this episode up. So this was episode 2 of the Sports Key podcast. Welcome to the dugout. You can see a couple of additions around the podcast setup, including about 93 ducks in those 2 glasses. Don't ask why. There's still more I'm looking for. If you guys see any around here that aren't in those 2 cups, please leave it in the comments because I'm lost. But yeah, we're pretty much just going to wrap it up now. So thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for next week covering the NBA. We're going to jump into the Stanley Cup as that's getting ready to close out. We just haven't been touching on hockey too much because we're not too familiar with it and we don't want to feed false information. But, yep, this was Welcome to the Dugout. It was episode 2.
Yeah, bitch so bad I wanna shoot like hoops. I'm riding in the coupe. I got what you want.